Good evening and welcome to Simply Colorful Fibercast. Today's date is June 18th, 2021. My name is Lynn Marquidant and I'm your host. Grab a project and let's sew together for the next 30 to 60 minutes, depending on what we're accomplishing. It's really fun. We've been doing this for 8 years. And for those of you who are new, including our newest patrons, thank you. Welcome and grab a project. So today what I'm doing is I am continuing to build on this cave quilt. I'm using the fabric that Lacey sent to me, and I've put a few extra borders on it. And I've auditioned, as you know, I've auditioned some borders last week, and I took those off and I put some others and I cut it down. Now what I want to do is do something interesting in each of the four corners for my next border. And I have a lot of this fabric. It's a very dark blue batik. It's very pretty, but it's very dark compared to even the darkest purple there currently. But I have a lot of it and I want to use it. And so I was thinking, and I had a few scraps left over of the cave, and I thought we would try to create a smaller version of the lattice in each corner. So this is what I've started. And I think what I'm going to do is literally square it up right now and then put a, let's see, I have to figure out, we're going to need another piece on each end, and then we square it up that way. So this is what happens when you quilt for years. You follow patterns judiciously, and then you decide, at some point, you decide you don't need patterns, which is ridiculous because you really do. Then you end up cutting up scraps and winging it. So I don't recommend that, but I'm so glad you could join me. Welcome. So what I'm going to do now, at the risk of making a mistake, no, you know what? I'm going to put on corners here. I also have some pieces that aren't, oh, that's right. I have to put, no, I do have to square this up. Oh, how has your week been, everyone? Okay, there's that. Oh, big goings on in the band tonight. The singer has not been here since COVID struck, and he is back tonight. So they were all very excited. What are you doing that's getting you back into pre-COVID days? Something about this doesn't seem quite right, but we'll try it. So there, I'm putting the edge on there. And then sew a piece of the cape onto that. See, so we're creating, oh, by the way, these are 2-inch squares. So if you know your math for triangles, it would be useful to know it. I think you add 7/8 of an inch to your square and then cut it in half. So if your squares are 2 inches, cut squares 2 7/8 and then cut them on the diagonal, and that triangle should be enough. for where you need triangles. Oh, and I just did that wrong because I didn't even cover the blue. So I do have to take that out. It's been a great week here in the studio. We've been very busy. In fact, you can see one of our newest quilters that we quilt for here, Pat, did this ombre-based design, which is really kind of neat. She was showing me, this is going to be hanging at Ann's down in Canton, Mass. She was showing me that this and this were made from one piece of blue ombre. Similarly, these and this were from another one. And then this orangey went from light to dark, and you cut out the triangles. So kind of neat. It goes together very fast. If you need a fast gift, that might be something to think about. And you let the fabric do the work. So we've got that. We finished a 40-year-old tumbler quilt. In fact, I'm going to keep that. In fact, I have a picture of that one. It's also blues. The tumbler quilt is one that Brenda started 40 years ago. Isn't that neat? Just another picture. Let's see. I have the backing here. We did a little vine backing. Okay. So I'm wondering, this is so unusual. My mother, hi Mom, if you're out there. I was talking to her today and she mentioned something with the chat is not working on YouTube. And I'm not seeing anyone in the chat. But I know you're out there. So I'm so glad you're out there. This is an exciting weekend because it's the last weekend for Tim and Lindsay before they get married. They are a couple that is that 2 inches? Yep. They are amongst the couples that were planning to get married just when COVID struck, or that June. So they've been waiting a long time, as have we all. So it's going to be a really fun time. And it's looking like the weather's going to be good. We'll be up at Mount Washington. So that's very exciting. So I should say right now, before I forget, I won't have Fibercast next Friday, the 25th of June, because we're going to the rehearsal dinner, which is pretty exciting. We have to rehearse being extras. Huh. Okay, now we're getting closer. And the question is, will I have enough of these cave scraps to create 4 of these? I think I will. Oh, boy. I need one there and there. Okay, no problemo. You know, I'll be sewing all of these scraps together once we get to the 4th one of these. Okay. Or you know what? We can get creative and find some lookalikes. Okay, here we go. Now what we have to do is square it up. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. We're going to square it up, and then we're going to put another dark border around it, and that will be our corner square. Question is, where are we going to cut it? Do 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 do. That one's not big enough of my squares. You can't see that. I'm sorry. Not sure quite why. Okay. So just like, I'm going to crop it pretty significantly. Oh, this could be a disaster. Okay, I just cut one side off. Okay. So we're going to make this 6 1/4. Oh, we were talking on Open Sew about when to change your blade. Mine is feeling a little bit dull right now. Curious. And I really try to do it, change it more. I really should change it because I'm always afraid of cutting myself on a dull blade. That's when you cut yourself, in my experience. Okay, now this looks a little funny, but we're getting there. So see how this is a miniature of that? That's going to be in each corner. So let's put, this is just 1 inch sashing. So it ends up being 1/2 inch. And you know what? So that I don't get waves, I'm going to measure it in the middle and cut it so that I know that it's 6 1/4 inches, not longer or not shorter. So I've just cut 2 pieces that we make sure goes on each end. It's been delightfully dry air here in the Northeast the last few days, but I think, oh, there's a lot of bias going on here. I'm glad I measured this. But the humidity is definitely coming in. And for those of you in other parts of the country, it looks very hot already. Okay. And we'll take our other 6 1/4 inch and we'll do it on the other end. I'm doing this corner square first, so then I know how wide to cut the rest of the sashing in between it. There we go. Come on. It got pulled down by the feed dogs. Okay, hang on. Go. So we had lots of work here in the studio. And then I was fortunate enough to have 4 walks this week, Monday through Thursday. Today I didn't because I was delivering quilts. But I love how the walk just becomes a part of the day. A good part of the day. And then when it's done, it's done. So there are 2 sides. It's not working the way I thought it would. Oh, that's why. I know why. I didn't iron it right. Ah! Okay, it's still not great. But it's good enough. And take the end of another one of these. I think I dropped. Oh yeah, now we're gonna measure it again and cut 2 of these. Use the center. There's one. I'll cut another one. There we go. Now we have these 2. Okay, now we'll sew those 2. Then we'll have one done. And really, the whole point of tonight's episode, if you will, is to remember how powerful repeating a design can be. I'm sure, like in floral design, I bet my sister has some examples in floral design, or in any design, if you have a certain style, it helps to repeat it so you don't have other styles competing with it. Repeat it, I mean. Hey, Jean. Hi, Ann. Oh, Annie. Okay. And there we go. So that is going to go up in one corner. Let's see what that is going to look like. We stand on top of my scrap pile here. I know that's hard to see, but the whole thing will be, I think that'll be good. It's much darker, but that'll be fine. Huh. Let's make another one. So I have some 2-inch long strips that I'll turn into those squares, but it's easier if I sew the sashing onto multiples. There's that. Okay. There and there. This blue is so dark, I'm using a black thread. Okay. So I've got some of them already cut. Let's see if we can get even better at this. I wonder if we can. There. There. Oh, I have an update on our timeshare. I think I may have mentioned to everyone that we have a timeshare and we had banked a week. So anyone who's familiar with timeshares knows you get points, and if you don't want to use your week, you can put it into a timeshare exchange and you can trade your week at one location for another week at another location. So we have not ever successfully used it because either our location we think is nicer than those that we see online, or the timing isn't right, or whatever. But we did bank a week several years ago that has to be used by the end of July. So a few months ago, my husband and I, Bob and I, decided to take a week, bring the dog, and just go explore somewhere in New England, somewhere we could drive to, right? Because we didn't know what was going on with the pandemic. Well, we were very proud of ourselves. And by the way, there are not many properties that are pet friendly, but we wanted to bring Buster, and who's right down there. I'll bring him up in a minute. So we found this place out in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and we were all excited. I did all of my homework. I looked at where we could go walking and where there were flower estates we could go look at. There's the Norman Rockwell Museum. There's the Museum of Contemporary Art that Sue told us about because her niece is working there, and all of these different places. Well, I called to confirm our reservation 2 days ago. Granted, it wasn't 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago. It was just 2 days ago. And I know things are crazy, and they reported they did not have any more pet-friendly rooms left. So all this plan to go to the Berkshires tomorrow had to be scrapped. And so instead, we're going to drive up the coast of Maine. So think of us and just keep your fingers crossed that we can find a hotel that takes dogs. So we're on a grand adventure. Okay. So now I have more of these squares. I need a little more variety. So let me get these done. There we go. Yeah, something must be up with YouTube. I'm so glad to know you're all out there. I can see you're out there, but I'm not seeing the chat. And again, welcome to our new patrons. I'm so excited. Can't wait to see you at Open Sew tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be on Open Sew. And then next Wednesday I'll be on Open Sew from somewhere on the road. I'm sure it won't be any better than when I was calling in from the windy dock of Menemsha. But I will call in and say hi. And then again, next Friday night, we won't have Fibercast because I'll be at the wedding. Okay, so now we have several more to sew together. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Open that one up. Let's put this one. This will be the center one. So there's the center. Oh, I also had a fun experience I'm making t-shirt quilts, as you know, for various high school graduates or a college graduate who's now in nursing. She wanted one. The high school graduate, it was thrilling to see, to me anyway. I met with her and her mother, and then I saw she's a senior in high school, and then I saw her picture in the paper for having received a scholarship. So that was really kind of fun. I thought it was making a quilt for royalty. I find I'm very proud of students that work so hard because I know how hard school can be. Okay. Just gonna, these are two pieces I cut together. Oh, so some of these pieces we cut off can be used now. No idea. Okay. Do you remember like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, how cool it was to be able to see someone else sewing in their studio on your iPad? I thought that was just the most amazing thing. And just think of the library of content we now have that we can see and pull up at any time. It's just remarkable. Okay, now we have to put this on. The reason I just thought of that is because here I am, I'm not saying much, and I'm sewing squares together, and I wonder if that's interesting enough anymore. And you can tell me if it isn't. Don't know. I know we've played with the camera angle. Oh, geez, that's not going to work. Sorry. I said gee whiz. Oh, big shout out to Linda, both Linda Grant as well as Linda out on the West Coast. Quilting gal. This is going to be messy. Got like 3 different. It's not a very straight sashing. But that's okay. Once we sew these together, we'll be fine. Okay. There we go. Okay. Set the seam. Oh, how can you go wrong with such pretty fabrics? You can't. Okay, and then we have this that we need to iron. Ooh, boy. Just wait till you see how wonky this one is. There's that. Now we're going to put this one over here. Oh, but first we want to put see, I'm doing it, trying it a little bit differently. The key is it has to measure 6 1/4 inches when we're done. Actually, I have to check that. Yeah, that's true. Okay, there's that. We'll take this, lay it over that. And there we go. Oh, and I have to show you another quilt I did this week for Pat. Well, I guess that's going to be hard to see. It's made with K fabrics. And I think it was designed by Kay someone. And it was done in the round. Like you did the first part, then you were sent what to put around for the border and then another border. That's a neat one. Here's another neat one, just like the one we showed last week. This is another Sarah S. creation. Okay. So here we have this ready to, oh, not quite yet. There's that. Okay, now this is what we have. Now, we're not quite done. We have to put some more fabric on these two sides. Really, don't do as I do. This is awful. There's that. There's this. Oh no. So something is wrong with my upper thread. So we will rethread it. Probably because I was going too fast. We're almost done, then we'll call it a night. Okay. There's that and that. Okay. There's that and that. Okay. Now we're ready to cut out our 6.5 inch square. 6.25 inch, I'm sorry. To put my glasses on. It's very hot in here. Okay. Fingers crossed. So there's that. And now we just have to outline it with our border fabric, our sashing, and we can call ourselves half done. Oh, but remember what we have to do so that we don't get wavy borders. We want to cut the border exactly to length and then pin it on so that it fits perfectly. There's that. I really appreciate you all watching today. And I appreciate the patrons. We sure do have fun with our open sews. And two, Linda and Sarah, at least two, will be getting together for some sewing. I want to say it's Palm Springs. Somewhere near the Joshua Tree Desert. Does that sound right? Could have it wrong. But I love that. And I would be there if I didn't already have plans to be at the vineyard. Okay, we'll do this side. Okay, almost done. So there are two sides. And now we'll just measure two other sides. There we go. And there we go. There is the second block. So again, it's a smaller version of this one. Well, I feel accomplished. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the summer. I hope if you're traveling that you have safe travels. Again, do something for someone else. It'll make you feel really good. And all that other stuff we always say. Do what you love to do. Take care of yourself. And I will see you for all of our open sewers. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you next Wednesday. And then for fibercasters, I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.